Friends, before we dive into today's terrifying story, let me share something interesting with you. Almost 80% of the people who watch our videos enjoy them, but haven't subscribed yet. So, if you're one of those 80%, it'll just take a second. Hit that subscribe button below so you'll never miss our chilling tale. You may have heard many horror stories before, but after listening to this horror legend, you might never want to buy a doll again. This story is based on one of the most popular horror legends in the world, the true story of the Annabelle doll. It all began in 1970 when Donna, a nursing student, received an antique doll as a gift from her mother. Donna and her roommate Angie had loved toys since childhood, so even in college, they enjoyed keeping dolls around their apartment. Donna and Angie lived together in a small apartment. While completing their nursing studies, both of them were excited about the gift. Every day after college, they would talk to the doll, place her on the bed, and treat her like a friend. But only a few days later, something strange happened. One afternoon, Donna returned from college and noticed the doll sitting on the sofa, but she clearly remembered leaving it on her bed. When Donna told Angie about it, Angie said she had noticed the same thing. The doll seemed to move from one place to another on its own. From that day on, they started paying attention. Every time they returned home, the doll would be in a different position, sometimes in another room, sometimes facing a different direction, sometimes sitting upright when they had left it lying down. Slowly, the incidents grew more disturbing. One night, Donna placed the doll on a chair, turned off the lights, and went to sleep. Late at night, she heard something that jolted her awake. As she opened her eyes slightly, she felt as if the doll was staring directly at her. The intense, unblinking gaze terrified her. She immediately jumped up, took the doll out of her room, and placed it on the sofa before returning to bed. Days passed, and the unusual happenings grew worse. One evening when they returned home from college, they found pieces of paper scattered all over the corridor, with the words, "Help me," written in a child's handwriting. At the end of the corridor, the doll was sitting near Angie's room door. Shocked and terrified, they approached the doll, and their hearts froze. There was blood on the doll's face. Its hair was sticky and matted with red stains. Panicked, Donna and Angie immediately called a priest. After examining the doll, the priest told them it was possessed. There was a spirit inside the doll. When the priest tried speaking to the spirit, it claimed to be a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died in a car accident near their apartment building years ago. Annabelle's spirit said she felt safe with Donna and Angie and wanted to stay with them. Donna and Angie felt pity for the little girl and agreed to let the spirit remain. They thought, what harm can a child do? But they were wrong. Donna's friend Lou, who often visited, never liked the doll. He insisted something was wrong with it and warned the girls to get rid of it. But they ignored him. One night, while Lou was sleeping, he suddenly woke up, unable to move his body. He heard a child laughing. When he looked toward his feet, the Annabelle doll was sitting there, and in the blink of an eye, it jumped onto his chest and began strangling him. The next day, Donna and Angie heard a loud crashing noise from Lou's room. They feared a burglar had entered, but when they checked, the room was empty except for Annabelle, lying on the floor. Lou heard the same childlike laughter from behind him. When he turned, no one was there. Suddenly, a searing pain shot across his chest. When he lifted his shirt, he saw deep, bloody scratches, as if something had clawed him. Terrified, Donna and Angie contacted the famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. During their investigation, the Warrens discovered the truth. The doll was not possessed by a child's spirit. It was a demon, pretending to be a child, in order to gain their trust, and eventually possessed Donna's body. The Warrens performed an exorcism on the house and took the doll with them. From that day on, no strange incidents happened in Donna's apartment again. But for the Warrens, the nightmare continued. When they placed Annabelle in their car to transport her home, the steering wheel kept locking, the brakes stopped working, and the car swerved uncontrollably. Only after Ed sprinkled holy water on the doll did the car behave normally. At their home, things grew stranger. Annabelle would appear in different rooms, the living room, the kitchen, and even their daughter's bedroom. One day, Lorraine saw her daughter talking to someone, a little girl, and Annabelle was sitting on a chair nearby. Suddenly, the bedroom door slammed shut. When it finally opened, their daughter was unconscious and Annabelle was lying on the floor. When the daughter woke up, she said she had been talking to a girl named Annabelle before fainting. One night, Ed heard a child giggling in the kitchen. He found a small girl sitting near the pantry, holding a doll. But when he approached, the child vanished. The Warrens knew the situation was getting worse. The next day, a priest visited their home to perform a blessing. He mocked the doll, saying, "You're just a doll. You can't harm anyone." Ed warned him never to provoke Annabelle. A few hours later, the priest was in a deadly car accident, barely surviving. That was the final sign. The Warrens built a special wooden case just for Annabelle and placed her inside their occult museum. Out of all the paranormal objects they ever encountered, Annabelle was the most terrifying. Ed and Lorraine believed that as long as Annabelle remained locked away, the world was safe.